Okay. Hi, and welcome to the Angel Advisory for the week of April 24th to the 30th. This week's energy feels like it's going to be moving a lot, flowing a lot better. Okay, like we will be having more forward movement than perhaps we had last week. Last week we had a lot of planets going retrograde. We've had a lot of planets going retrograde for a little while. We have 6 right now retrograde, and they're going to be retrograde for a little while, overlapping each other. So we've had a lot of energy where it just seems like perhaps we were, 1 step forward, 3 steps back, or stagnant. And this week's energy is really definitely going to start pushing us forward. So that means that we are probably still going to have a lot of things come up for us, which I want to speak about in a minute here, because that's sort of what happens when retrogrades are happening in that. Retrogrades are not a bad thing. It's time for you to release, relax, redo, reclaim, refresh. It's like all about being given a second chance, actually, is how I like to look at it. And a lot of people would like to just sort of excuse everything that comes up in their lives to the retrograde or to a full moon or a new moon energy and not actually really understanding that it's already there within you, and it's probably a shadow self or a shadow side or something that you really don't want to look at because it's a little uncomfortable and you just like to go along with la la la, things are fine when they're actually not, and so you're actually deceiving yourself. And a retrograde is actually a really good opportunity, because what happens is it brings it to the front somehow, and that there's a trigger or something sets it off, and it comes to the front and it's being asked to be healed. And so you get an opportunity to re-examine it and re-look at it and sort of move forward from that. So not necessarily is it a bad thing. It could be something that, a lot of times in that our fear takes over, and we are looking at things that have happened in the past and we don't really want to deal with them and heal them. But in today's perspective from the now, we see that, it wasn't really that big of a deal. And actually, we've moved forward so much since then that why are we still packing that baggage along with us? So retrograde is really good. And the retrograde is not causing this to happen to you any more than if you get pulled over by a law officer for speeding and you're given a speeding ticket. It's not the law officer's fault that you got the speeding ticket. It's already there present within you because you were probably speeding, and that's why you got the ticket. So the same with anything that comes up in the retrograde energy. And depending on what is in retrograde, that sort of controls different aspects of life, and different aspects of our energy are affected. And so that's what comes up at any given time. So it's not the retrograde, it's not the planet's fault. It was already sitting there within you, and it's time to just deal with that. So this is a good thing, and I think that this week is going to be more of that. And also the energy of the last few weeks, a lot of weeks this year actually, have been more of an internal self looking after ourselves, and that is going to continue. And I could just keep saying that till I'm blue in the face, because every week it comes up. And again this week when I was sitting this morning, and that what kept coming was one life, one love, and it just kept coming over and over. And so it's like, okay, do what you love. And you have one life here, do what you love. And it's like there is no space to be having a negative moment or a negative impact. And whatever is happening, find the love within it. That is what we are all being asked to do. And that is how we carry forward. We have to keep finding the love and whatever is happening in our lives. So one life, one love. That is the energy message for this week that we are going to carry forward on. So I'm going to draw some cards from the map today. We're going to map out our week and see sort of what is coming our way and how things are going to be flowing. And I really do think that this week is more, there will be introspection times when we're just sitting quietly, but it also is about moving forward. So we are going to be moving forward. And actually, funnily enough, the first card is Into the Unknown, which is very scary for a lot of people. But if we look at it, that our life is always an unknown. Every day is an unknown. Every hour is an unknown. Every minute is an unknown. We don't have our days and our lives mapped out to the point of knowing everything that's coming along for us. So we're going into the unknown, and so this means that we really need to be extra aware this week and extra cognizant of what's going on around us, what's going on within us, and just sort of, it's not going to probably help if we're going to get blindsided. We're going to get blindsided, but when we are going into the unknown, it's like be prepared for anything, because anything could happen. And so that's a good warning for all of us this week, to just sort of be extra aware, extra cautious. Making a commitment, because commitment is next, and this actually shows two hands reaching out for each other in that, and making a commitment, and lots of love and hearts and butterflies and things floating around and stars. So making a commitment, but I feel this is making a commitment to ourselves, making a commitment to yourself for what is it that you really want this week. And I think that this goes with the retrogrades of cleaning up things in the past and that, because perhaps you've settled for something or been settling and it's really not what you want, but there's a fear of letting it go and just moving forward and jumping in. So go into the unknown, make a commitment to yourself to really just bring life forward. One life, one love. This is it, people. This is your life this time around. I believe that there is reincarnation. So, we could have another life, but we only have this life once. So we need to make it the best that we can. Make a commitment to that, to having every day be joyful, to having every day have purpose, even if that purpose is just that you're having a relaxing day, and that make sure that it does. This card just jumped there. I don't know if you could see it on the screen. Oh, stuck in the mud. Aha, this is one of my favorite little cards, because I love how the elephant has a bird on it and it's just kind of stuck in the mud, but there is movement. Okay, so he is moving, and that he's got one leg up and he's just sort of probably plodding along, and that's sort of how the energy has been feeling, that we're not really moving forward with any great speed, and we might feel like we're stuck, but we are still moving forward. We are making progress, and that, so this week could be more of that energy of just feeling like, but just have faith and keep going one foot in front of the other, because whatever it is that you're working towards achieving, and that it is going to ease up soon, and it'll be flying forward. And that, just think of this as laying the foundation, doing as much groundwork as you can, so that when it does burst open, and that you're not swallowed up by the flood, you're floating and surfing on the tide as it goes. And this one is Follow the Leader. Okay, we've had this card before, and every time it comes, I hear the song, Following the Leader, the Leader, the Leader. But you are the leader in that, okay? So make sure that you're following. And if you are following someone else, make sure that they're in alignment with your integrity and what you want to do. Because it's okay to follow someone else and to take direction and just sort of go along. But eventually it becomes your life. And if you're just following someone else and going along and that, because that's the easy way and everything, then it's going to come back to haunt you at some point. Something is going to turn sideways and you're going to be left there without a leader. And then how do you lead your life? So remember that. Follow yourself. If you are going to follow a leader, great, but make sure it's in integrity with who you are, with what you want. And at any time, know that you can say, no, you know what, I'm going to take a little detour right here, and I'm going to go down this path for a while because this feels right to me. One last card, because it just feels like we need to have one more for this week. And we have Gentle Gardener, so take some time out from planting your seeds, nourishing them, and making things grow. Take some time out to relax, refresh, and rejuvenate, and ride the wave. That's the last one, ride the wave. No matter what comes this week, guys, just ride the wave. You've got this. It's going to be an amazing week. I can just feel that everything is lightening up. The energy is lightening up. So until next week, everyone, namaste. Have a blessed week and I look forward to talking to you next week. Have a great one.